and Devils both with the night off. Islanders on the road down in Tampa Bay, Florida against the Lightning.
That's Lightning?
It was Thunder, I guess. Oh. In the first, Derek King takes a pass from Steve Thomas. He bangs it home. His first of two on the night. I bring my own sound effects. The Islanders go on to the 4-2 win over the Tampa Bay Lightning Thunder. As always, Friday night means the play.
Time for sports now with Mike Zimmett. Al Arbour's a genius, benches Travis Green, and comes back with 2 goals.
2 goals tonight, that's right. The Islanders actually won a game. That's what I meant to say. At the Coliseum, it was not easy, but the Islanders hung on to beat Hartford 5-3 behind Ron Hextall for their 4th win of the season. Here's a scoreless first period. Until this, on the power play, the feed to Pierre Turgeon. He winds up and slaps. His 5th goes in. It's 1-0. Now, same period, Marty McGuinness in the circle feeds Travis Green, who needed a goal badly because he was benched Thursday in Chicago. He later scored an empty net. Now 3-2 Islanders in the 3rd. Jeff Sanderson loses. Marty McGuinness, beautiful defensive play. That made it 4-2. Whalers cut it to 4-3 before the Islanders added that Green empty net to win it 5-3 the final. And in
the game action is 39 seconds long. Up 3-0 in the first. Claude Lozelle scores on the deflection. Isles up 4-0. The barrage continues 17 seconds later. The Isles' finest, Pierre Turgeon, on the breakaway left wing. Holds it, wrists it. Score, 5-0 Isles. But wait, there's more. 22 seconds later, it's Turgeon again. The Islanders score 3 goals in 39 seconds. They go up 6-0. The NHL record for fastest 3 goals is 20 seconds by Boston in 1971. 8-1 is the final. Turgeon gets the hat trick. The Islanders set a club record by scoring those 3 goals in a 39-second span of the first. They snap a 3-game losing streak. Goalie Ron Hextall had a shutout until Bob Kudelski scored with 59 seconds left. Lightning.
Huge win for the Islanders this afternoon. This one builds character. They trailed the Flyers at the Spectrum 3-1, fought back to beat Philly in overtime 5-4. Islanders win their 3rd straight. All 3 have come away from the Coliseum. Here's the right side of your screen. Who says the replacement refs don't throw themselves down? They do. Second period, Flyers with 3 unanswered goals. Gary Galley's shot initially stopped by Ron Hextall, but Dave Tippett is there to put in the rebound. There's the 3-1 Flyer lead, but the Isles come back in the 3rd. Loiselle, terrific pass to Turgeon for the goal. Tied the game at 3. Islanders led 4-3 on a Benoit Ho goal, but with just over 2 minutes left, Yves Racine with a perfect pass to Michael Renberg in front. Sends the game into overtime, tied at 4. But look at this spectacular play. 24 seconds in to overtime. Turgeon out of the corner, puts the puck off the back of Dominic Roussel's leg and in with the game winner. He has 7 goals in his last 3 games. That is sports. Here's Joe.
The Rangers went into today's matinee against the Islanders with a 14-game unbeaten streak. But many a Rangers streak has been snapped at the Nassau Coliseum, where the Blue Shirts had managed a victory in 14 games. Make it 15. The Islanders iced the Rangers 6-4. Glenn Healy's back at the Coliseum, but this time it's in Ranger blue. First period, Pat Flatley steals from Jeff Bukaboom. Then off the backhand feed, Travis Green will tickle the twine. 1-0 in favor of the Islanders. It's now 3-1 Isles in the second. Steve Thomas streaks down the right side and rifles it past Richter for his 2nd goal of the game. The Isles enjoying a 3-goal lead. So in comes Healy, the former Islander, replacing the outgoing Richter. Rangers come back. Alexei Kovalev from the point. It's tipped in by former Islander Greg Gilbert. This cut the Isles lead to 1 at 4-3. But then Steve Thomas will come up big, steals Brian Leach's pass, wheels and deals it past Healy for the hat trick. Isles win at 6-4, running their unbeaten string to now 5 games.
2 power play goals. Mike Richter makes 33 saves in this one. The Wings on the island Sunday, and Scotty Bowman and Al Arbour, the 2 winningest coaches in NHL history. They've combined for 1,597 wins. Sergei Fedorov puts in his own rebound. 2-1 Wings. Fedorov 17th. Tim Cheveldae was on fire. Ray Ferraro on the breakaway. Cheveldae, the pad save. Ferraro on the break again. Tries the backhand. Cheveldae muffs him. Ray banging the stick in frustration. Cheveldae was the star of this one.
Sorry, ball.
Them reuniting the line, and it works on the first shift. A simple dump in, and Ridley's going to get a bad bounce in front of Ron Hextall. And the Capitals draw first blood. There we see Burridge drawn down the wing against Steve Thomas. A good centering pass. There's Vasky taking Miller. A quick shot by Johansson goes off of the defenseman's stick. right to the slot area, and Mike Ridley's there to put it home. So a good capital bounce, and Johansson jumping into the play. That puck, you'll see, never actually got to the net. It hit Vladimir Malakoff. Goes right to the stick of Mike Ridley, and Hextall cannot get back in position, and the Caps are leading the game.
Well, the Caps leading point man, Mike Ridley, pulling the trigger for his 7th goal. And ladies and gentlemen, that is point number. Takes the shot through the screen, scores! We're all tied up as Travis Green faked initially on the shot, looked to pass it across, but he beats Tabaracci, and we're all tied up.
I don't even think Green was trying to put that puck on net. May have went off of Enrico Ciccone, the lone defenseman, back, or it may have just went off of the inside pad of Tabaracci. There's Green streaking down a 2-on-1. He's got a winger on the left. There's the fake, Ciccone down, and there's Tabaracci with the goal stick in the middle of his legs, and as he tried to deflect that away from the oncoming winger on the left side, he put it between his own legs. There's Green coming down the right wing, a quick fake, Ciccone down, and he's trying to center that. But Tabaracci, there it is, off of the right leg, sorry, not.
Berube and Mick Vakota, they're set up. The linesmen watching here. They'll not get involved under the instructions of the National Hockey League. A lot of faking going on before the two come to blows here. And Berube from close quarters gets a couple of shots on Vakota. And goes right hand, very strong as Vakota. Certainly got the worst of that exchange.
Great job right there by Berube, staying there and staying there. Finally, the two come together. And the Chief trying to get a spark in the Capitals in his first shift, and that's exactly what he does.
We'll be back as they sort this one out on Paramount 20.
There, Hatcher going down. See, he catches a stick in the face. He got up and complained to the official. Not much you can do right there, though. Hatcher's on his way down. There you see him leaning back to the referee saying, hey, I caught a stick. But Hatcher was already down on the ice. Day really just trying to jump over him. And he caught the errant stick of the Islander.
Jim at home and is denied from point-blank range. Now the shot scored! The shot by Eli Afraidy may have been deflected in front, and the Caps have the lead.
Now Ron Hextall's not even going to complain to the referee right there. A little interference from Krieger, but it was Tom Curvers who had knocked him in, and it's Krieger who absolutely is going to get that goal. But a good job by Iafrate taking that puck off of the boards, putting the puck on the net quickly. And just as Krieger had come out of the net and untangled himself from Hextall, he deflects that puck. There they are working hard. Krieger moving in, whacking at the rebound. There's Curvers pushing him into the goaltender. Quickly, though, the puck will go on a bad pass by Thomas. Goes right to Iafrate. Look at Al tee that right up, and there's Todd Krieger. Looks like it's coming right into Hextall. He puts a stick on it and deflects it over the glove hand, and the Capitals have the lead back.
Well, it looks like it will be Krieger's 5th goal. We'll wait for it officially. This must be the night of Miles.
Getting away from Hextall to look up ice, see where the puck was coming from, and get just a beautiful tip and beat the Islander goaltender.
Great call by you, Sean. And they're giving the goal to Iafrate, but I'm sure it will be changed. And all the official scores here. We're reviewing the play. Took him a little longer than the norm to give it to us, but no doubt Krieger will get credit before this game is over.
Krieger develops that
second of the night.
Well, the Capitals in this game going with 7 defensemen, and twice the people who don't play a lot have been burned. First Ciccone on a 2-on-1, and right here Brian Curran. There he trips on the boards and then on the linesman. I'm laughing, but it's not good for the Caps. It develops a 3-on-2. There's a pass back. A quick move by McInnes going to the backhand. Tabaracci makes a save, but there it is, stalled up in the crease, and Travis Green whacks it in. Pat Peak playing a little bit weak on his check right there. That's his man right in the right corner. He packed
along the wall, and play whistle down. Acton all over Burridge. 13:20 left. Tied at 2 from the island on Paramount 20.
And a nice hit right there by Keith Jones following into the play. And there's an Islander, Steve Thomas, trying to do the same on Capital defenseman Enrico Ciccone.
Krieger, delayed penalty. And the Caps are regaining the lead with a power play goal.
Well, the Capitals trying some new players on the power play, or at least a little mix. And they had 2 Capitals working hard in front of the net, Burridge and Kristich. And it's Ridley, the playmaker. He'll get the puck on the half board. There's a spinorama by Iafrate. He'll put it down to Ridley. Look at Hatcher in the right side of the screen coming in. Ridley with a quick pass, and wow, what a rocket by Hatcher right there. There's no way Hextall could do anything on that play. Kevin with a great one-timer and beat him clean. But again, good work in front of the net. There was Burridge and Kristich getting in the way of Hextall, and if not only blocking his vision, but blocking him from getting over and getting to that puck of Hatcher's.
Kevin Hatcher with goal number 5 on the seat.
Well, I tell you, it doesn't get any tougher than the way the Capitals are making it. They're controlling this hockey game. They're taking it to the Islanders, but you give up 3 odd man rushes, and this is what results right here. Hatcher late getting back. There's Volek with the pass across, and Derek King doesn't miss many. He puts it back past Tabaracci, and I'm not going to be surprised if the Capitals make a goaltending change pretty soon here. Tabaracci, although not faulted, except on the first goal, has not looked that great. Terry Murray has to be looking in disbelief at how hard his club has worked so far. A little over 8 minutes into the hockey game, but we're tied at 3. Again, Tabaracci not even moving really, just falling back on the play.
Shot with Hextall down. Rebound, Randy Burridge trying to go short side, but the Islanders clear it down. Iafredi's backhand. Burridge tried to redirect and missed. McGinnis back for the Islanders.
Ferraro and Konowalchuk. Konowalchuk is, let's see, glove in the midsection and hauls him down. That's one of the things you have to do as a young defensive forward. You have to be so strong in your own zone, so strong one-on-one. And right there, Konowalchuk got beat out of the corner. Brightis hip check. There's Iafredi dumping in, and there's Kasparaitis coming late and cutting across the knee, almost a clip. A very dangerous by Malakoff. A quick pass. Curvers takes it off the board. There's that quick snapshot, not a slap shot. Gets it off quickly. And Tabaracci sees that a little late. There it is, a good save. Not able to hold on to it. But the referee on the other side of the ice did not see that. And there's Turgeon leaning around trying to give it a little whack.
Again, if you're joining us late here, it's a 3-3 hockey game in the first period. Wide open to be sure. But away from the ice tonight, the officials are meeting with National Hockey League representatives as we speak to try to pass, and Benoit Hogue bangs it home by Tabaracci. It won't be long before he's replaced, and we're going to look at Don Beaupre.
Well, again, you can't fault Tabaracci on that play. Steve Konowalchuk should have picked up his man going to the net. Well, my idea is with Tabaracci, it's the technique he's using on the goal mouth passes. Again, he's leaning with the stick rather than the pads. Right here, though, don't fault him. Thomas with a nice pass. There's Benoit Hogue, and again, Steve Konowalchuk, a defensive young forward. You've got to get position. You've got to get me between the player and the net. But he let Hogue beat him right there, and again, an odd man rush from the right side. That's 4 goals coming off of the right wing with the left winger scoring.
Now that goal for Benoit Hogue, his 10th of the year. Hextall. Ridley with a...
For 15 years.
Back in return for whatever happens, and in this case, the Dale Hunter hit on Turgeon. If you had your pick of any Capital player, who would you take? Guess who they chose? Dale Hunter's the guy that Al Arbour said he'd take it hands down. There aren't too many teams in the National Hockey League, in fact, none, that wouldn't take Dale Hunter. The heart and soul of this Washington Capital Hockey Club. The horn goes to end the first period, a wide open period. Been settled. We are expecting a release from the National Hockey League here on the island momentarily, but we can tell our viewers on Paramount 20 that the officials and the National Hockey League have reached an agreement, and I guess we can call it a tentative settlement, subject to the approval of the officials around the National Hockey League, but I don't think that will be a...
Devil lead, Jim.
A game of inches. The Rangers come down 2-on-1. They missed by an inch, but look what happens. The Devils are going to counter. There's Richer with the puck. Look at number 10. Millen's going. It's McLean right here taking the shot. Look at the side of the net. Corey Millen rebound off the board.
Big Dale Hunter fan. Don, I saw you on Hockey Night in Canada last Saturday night. You gave Dale Hunter the thumbs up for returning to action. Lo and behold, after 4 periods of play, this guy's out till January the 1st.
And not only that, he gets 2 points in the first game. He misconduct to the whole thing. Everybody was talking about him. He's the heart and soul of Washington, which he is, and everybody knows that. And as I said last year on Hockey Night Canada, I said if anybody gets hurt and misses more than 5 games like Turgeon, and by the way, I heard Turgeon could have come back in 3 games, but he's such a sweetie pie. If anybody misses over 5 games, he misses 10 games, well, then it's double. He should get 42 games. I understand that Dale is going to miss 14 games. This guy should get at least 40 games if we're going true. If it's true, where's all the whining? Where's all the crying, gnashing of teeth about from the New York media? Where's all the sky is going to fall? It's terrible. I don't see that at all. And this guy, I understand before, did a number on Hunter's brother down in the minors, so he's got the reputation. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. It's who you do it to. That's the big T. That's the big thing. Because it's Dale Hunter, is it because it's Dale Hunter that this guy's going to get not going to get at least 20 games? I'll bet you he gets 4 games, and that's it. Now, Dale got 21, and this guy is going to get 4. I'll bet any money at all that's going to get 4, and that's going to be a shame because everybody knows, like I said at the start of this interview, how much Dale means to the Washington Caps, and that's going to be a damn shame, I'm telling you.
How about the situation here with the replacement official? Do you think a Kovalev would have taken the liberties had the regular referees been around?
Oh, yeah, you know, a lot of things are said like that. They say, oh, game out of control. Well, let's face it. A lot of things happen when the regular guys are there. I don't go for that stuff and everything. They're saying it's the replacement guys and using that as an excuse. That's no excuse for this guy. This guy should get at least 20 games. I would like to see him get 25 games. And if he, like I said before, if he's going to miss 14 games, why not double it? I tell you, Gary Bettman's in kind of a sticky situation now. I was just waiting for something like this to happen so I could jump on it. Little did I know it would be Dale that got it. I mean, it's ironic and a sad thing to think that this guy sits out all these games, 21, and his second game back, he's going to be out for all this time. How much can a guy take? I mean, it's enough to make you cry.
Thanks for the visit, Grapes.
Okay, Rivers.
Don Cherry joining us, the one and only Don Cherry, again, the Hockey Night Canada analyst, former coach of the Boston Bruins, and, of course, a big, big fan of Dale Hunter. Incidentally, Kovalev has been suspended indefinitely pending a hearing on Thursday. That hearing could, in fact, be moved up until tomorrow now that there has been a settlement in the National Hockey League strike. Again, if you're just joining us, the officials and the NHL have come to agreement. I wouldn't be surprised to see the officials back as early as tomorrow evening. And we'll be back.
As it becomes available, as Al says, if everything can be worked out, you could see the real referees and linesmen on ice on Thursday night. Next time we get together, we'll see you in 2 weeks. We'll give Morganti and Schoenfeld a couple of weeks off. December 14th, L.A. Kings and...
Sticks get high, and we'll wait and see if referee Drew Taylor assesses anything here.
Well, good job by the two Capital defensemen, the Big Curran and Ciccone, following through. And there's a good hit by Darius Kasparaitis, taking the body, sends Capital centerman Michael Plavanka flying to the ice.
15 minutes and 48 seconds. Acton, now Acton and Berube. Those are good friends here. Keith Acton, we might mention, the former Capital, lost on waivers when they picked up Brian Curran, and he and the Chief, Greg Berube, are great friends, former teammates, and in Philadelphia and in Washington.
Good job by that line, working, grinding, wearing down the Islander defenseman. Acton very disappointed to be claimed on waivers, having to come to the island. Had his family move to the Washington area, had his 2 kids in school. But, hey, I think in the long run, playing-wise, it's going to work out better for him. Although we expected Hunter to be back playing for the Capitals, so maybe he would have been a regular in the lineup. But with a healthy Hunter, he would have been the 5th centerman. Competitively, Poulin and Dean Chanelth also came together on that play. Chanelth, a former first-round pick. There's Kasparaitis and Berube with some pushing and shoving. But good work, and that's one of the things. Dave Poulin has been on the puck every shift. He's been out there hustling. He's also playing with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. Some good aggressive, some high elbows. Good feisty player by the veteran.
One of the better games we've seen Dave Poulin play for the Capitals this season, if not his best.
Well, he's another player that when we talk to Terry Murray, I've been doing scouting, you've been doing other things, don't see all the Capitals games, but he's a guy that he's talked about from the beginning of the season that has really picked up his play. We always know about his leadership, but he's now doing more and more on the ice for the Caps.
For his first shift since he and Vakota had words at their respective benches. Let's watch and see what develops. And it's Berube and Vakota again.
Coming back for a second beat.
Part 2. And again, just looking for position. They didn't have enough in the first period. They're back here again.
Vakota usually likes to tie guys up.
Vakota gets a good right, but look at now as Berube comes back.
Well, good job by Vakota. Ended up getting Craig a little off balance, but Craig really leaning with the head. Most of those punches hitting on the back of his helmet as he was trying to get his balance. Not much damage done, but I give credit to both combatants. Vakota, as we see a cut over his nose area, got the worst of the first encounter, but hey, he knows his job. He's a willing combatant and comes back the second time.
Well, this is probably going to be the best 2 out of 3 falls. And now we're tied 1-1.
Well, Mick Vakota, there they are talking off of the draw. You pointed that out. And right away, hey guys, let's get it going here. A little dance, a couple of fakes, and they move in. Exchange some blows. Mick Vakota, a former Capital training camp attendee. My first training camp back in '86 was a free agent. That same year, a free agent by the name of Craig Berube tried out for the Philadelphia Flyers. Vakota went back and played junior that season, was then signed by the Islanders. Berube went to Hershey of the American Hockey League. They also knew each other quite well from the Western Hockey League, where they had played 3 seasons against each other and were known as 2 of the tougher players in that league, along with Ken Baumgartner.
5 minutes each for fighting for Vakota and Berube, so they've added to their penalty totals here in their second battle. To Konowalchuk, and we may get something going here.
Now they've assembled a kid line right here. Jones along with Konowalchuk and Peak. There's Konowalchuk bumping into Hextall. Now we have some pushing and shoving. Steve Thomas, also Dean Chenault, just summoned from Salt Lake City last week.
You know, these New York Islanders are a brave crew here without Dale Hunter in the lineup. And I noticed that the players in the newspaper today said they would have loved to have had a shot at Hunter last year. But they knew they had to think about the team first. Quite frankly, I think it's rather gutless to make a comment like that and not back it up with admitting who you are in print. Yeah. They wanted their names kept off the record, so to speak. And going after a kid like Steve Konowalchuk is not my way of showing that you've got any kind of strength or intestinal fortitude.
The only thing that you obviously look at with the amount of media you get here in New York, if you go and quote yourself in the paper using a name, the league gets a hold of that, and if Dale had played, an incident followed, you're going to be held responsible for that. So I can see it from the player's view, but hey, if you're not going to use your name to it, then like you said, just don't say anything at all.
Exactly. Ray Ferraro, by the way, and I was watching the game on satellite the other day, he may be in for a hearing of his own. Ferraro speared Kozlov, the young Detroit player. And I mean blatantly speared him in front of the television cameras, got away with it, no penalty at all. Ferraro's one of the guys that yapped quite a bit after the Hunter incident last year. And again, we don't condone what Dale did, but at the same time, there's a few players that have made some comments in the past and made some comments yesterday that have no business making those comments.
Well, even some of the media who don't cover hockey. I was listening to your talk show last week, and you had on the guy from the Baltimore Sun mentioning why not go down and watch Dale in his return, and hey, I don't want to go down and watch another brawl start. And I think people very often forget this is a guy who is a great offensive player. He's the quarterback of the Capitals power play. He gets them 80 points a year, between 70 and 80 points, plays hard for them. Just an excellent hockey player. Capitals again arguing with the linesman about where the faceoff is going to be. They're taking it outside of the zone. Now they're moving over a little bit back in, and looks like the Caps might get their way.
Well, there's no question there's bad blood between these two teams. Caps still smarting from last year's early exit from the Stanley Cup playoffs. Had to live with that thought all summer. Wanted to kill him. He's going to have to come here sometime, said another. That guy won't ever have an easy game here. And again, if you're going to make those kind of comments, I don't think that you want to be making them off the record.
Eric King on the Islander bench.
Goes off Konowalchuk. Hextall the save as he had the angle. Krieger sends it in front. We've got a delayed penalty as Hatcher is sent to the ice. Covers up, and McGinnis and Poulin separated by the linesman. Will step aside here as well.
Kay Jewelers presents a jewelry fashion tip from Cindy Crawford.
I'll agree this is going to be a roughing. He's working hard against McInnes. There was no arm of the referee going up on this play, though. Poulin went out to the right point, missed a hit on Malakoff. Malakoff in front of the referee, cross-checked Poulin in the back, in front of the Islander bench. The referee then raised his arm. I was expecting a capital power play. Next thing we know, he turns around. This is where the roughing call is, working against McInnes.
I think the crowd called that one by Vasky. And if that's not a late hit and a cheap shot, I don't know what is.
No, it's definitely going to get ugly. Both Keith Elaine and Terry Murray up on the Capitals bench, yelling at the linesman and the referee, and that's exactly what happens when you let things go. There's another shot between Ridley and Vasky.
And Ridley's upset, and justly so. That's the kind of thing the NHL wants to get away from. Hitting from behind up against the boards.
Yeah,
and that's precisely what happened.
It's a late hit, and it's doubly the damage you mentioned when it's near the board area, and especially if you're going head first.
Bring on the regular officials. That's all I've got to say.
Oh, yeah. Well, at least they're ending on a note where we won't miss them. Vasky also heading to the penalty box, so we'll stay 4-on-4. Even though we have 2 more coincidental minors, we do not go down to the 3-on-3. What do you think? Would you like to see that back in the NHL?
No. 4-on-4 is good enough for me.
Really, I'd like to see the 3-on-3. I think with the skill level being taken away with some of the systems that people are playing a defensive style, I think having a 3-on-3 back in the National Hockey League would open things up, and we'd see a little more of the offense and great skill that some of the European players are bringing to the National Hockey League. There's that hit by Vasky. Ridley going in awkwardly. Don't forget, Ridley, although knock on wood, this season has not been bothered, but many times has a bad back, and it's hits like that after the whistle into the boards in an awkward motion that caused.
Kristich now. The feed for Burridge. Johansson with a shot wide. Ferraro behind the net. LaChance. LaChance to Ferraro. Ferraro hit from behind by Kristich. Burridge tries to sneak away with the puck, but he's held up by LaChance, looking for the face-off when they get it. 3:57 left.
Well, the 4-on-4 benefiting the Capitals. Good hard work by Kristich and Burridge. And there's Jones driving hard to the net, but a good quick shot by Pavanka coming across the blue line in perfect position.
Got to shoot more.
Yeah, Keith Elaine, a former goaltender, one of the things he instructed the players on the Capitals to do, shoot to the feet of Hextall. And it should have shot a foot off the ice in between the legs. Almost finds its way. There's Patrick Flatley. He has that protective guard. Hurt his jaw in a Philadelphia game.
Coming out of the penalty box.
That little bit of a delay that Neely put on Jocelyn Thibault. Thibault responds by going down. He anticipated Neely shooting the puck when he first winds up. Watch the delay Neely makes. Right here, the adjustment, a little waiver, then he snaps it through the 5-hole. Thibault cannot believe that puck got through. A heavy shot, nice play by Reed. Now watch Neely. He's going to, right here, he's going to wind up and then change the old body weight. Snaps it through the 5-hole.
Ray Bourque made that.
Poulin wins the face-off, but Islanders send it towards the net. Ferraro one hands, but right to Kristich. Todd Krieger held up by Thomas. Able to make the play into the offensive zone. To the net goes Johansson. Todd Krieger in the corner. Looks for Kristich behind the net. Ferraro draped all over him. Krieger slips and falls. So too does Kristich as he was hauled down by Ferraro. And again, that one went undetected. Less than a minute to go in this scoreless second period. Kristich from the right wing. Kristich away from Ferraro, gets the knee in the midsection. I don't know what the officials have got to do to call a penalty here. Ferraro kneeing Kristich in the midsection, and play whistle down on the offside.
And all the Capitals standing. Ferraro now coming back towards the bench area, but twice Kristich first hauled down right in front by Ferraro. So he was trying to turn the puck from the corner and get a shot on Hextall. Then right in front of the bench, Ferraro without his stick comes flying across and not getting a full piece of Kristich. Puts knee on knee, which is always a dangerous play.
My friend Don Cherry, who was our first intermission guest, had some strong comments about this guy after the Dale Hunter injury. And very uncomplimentary after the incident last spring.
Ferraro working. There's a Todd Krieger working hard. Ferraro against Kristich coming out of the corner. Dimitri so strong on the puck, using his skates one-handed. Look at the arm right there. Just holding him. Nothing Dima could do.
That wasn't the worst of the two shots Kristich took on that shift. Got a knee right in front of the Capitals bench.
That's one of Dimitri's great strengths, so shielding people.
Touch that remains to be seen.
Looked like a deflection by Donato.
We better look at it here. Betty's certainly in the right position screening it. There's the shot. It'll be Steve Leach.
Hines and Simon. Simon, some solid lifts and some help for Hines there. And he got back at Simon.
He got up at him a little bit, took a couple. Stood his ground, Stevie Hines.
And the score is Boston 5 and Quebec nothing. We'll be back in a moment.
It's Domino's 20. Dakota and Berube. We need Vince McMahon here. WWF. What's this all about? This is nonsense.
Good old Western Hockey League. Come on, get in there.
Dakota won the second, Berube the first. And they wrestled to the ice in the third.
And they're both going to be heading to the dressing room. 3 fighting majors and you're out. So both players will leave after not much of a finale.
Draw there.
Yeah, both players playing their role. Dakota normally known for that style. Likes to grab a hold of a player, not always exchange the punches, but really try to almost wrestle or throw a guy down, WWF style.
You know, they may not get majors for that one.
Oh, no, you have to. You drop the gloves, you square off like that. They got to get 5-minute majors.
Well, Dakota's being ushered into the penalty box, and now Berube will follow. I bet you he gives him double minors.
Well, he ends up, that's going to be a bonus, or at least
it's a gift.
He wants to see part 4, I guess. The linesmen are saying, hey, get these guys out of here. We don't have to break them up again in the hockey game.
Washington penalty number 27, Frank Berube. Islanders penalty number 12, Rick Dakota. 2 minutes each for delay of the game, and they need to receive a 10-minute misconduct. Travel penalties 9 seconds.
Are they 10-minute misconducts or unsportsmanlike conduct penalties?
At 9 seconds.
Well, they got 2 each for delay a game. Yeah, 2 each for delay a game, 2 minutes, plus they each get 10-minute misconducts tagged on that. So we'll need a player from each bench to serve those 2-minute minors. Steve Konowalchuk's headed over from the Capital bench, and how an Islander. We'll see who it is.
Penalty's coming at 9 seconds, so that will effectively take Berube and Dakota out of most of this third period. They'll be back with less than 8 minutes remaining.
And it'll be Joe Day heading to the bench here, or the penalty box area. We haven't seen him on the ice since the first period when he ran into Hatcher. He missed the whole second period.
He's got that shield, but Todd Krieger is bent over, and look at the plays continuing.
Terry Murray's on the bench. He's almost over the board area.
Todd Krieger and Kasparaitis and Iafrate get sticks up. But Krieger, who's got the face shield.
Here comes Dean Chenault, knowing that his value to the Islanders compared to that of Iafrate to the Capitals is greatly different, trying to take Al off of the ice.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm happy that these regular officials are coming back. Somebody's going to be seriously hurt here. And tonight this game has got far too chippy. And I'm not just saying from a Islander perspective, the Caps of themselves got a little chippy in this hockey game.
Well, we expected a heated battle. Right there, Krieger doing nothing wrong, though, just driving around the net, trying to stuff that puck on Hextall. The defenseman, the Islander defenseman, pushing him into the goaltender. And he ends up getting a stick up high, no call. He actually went to the bench. Here's a good work behind the net. Poulin taking the puck off of King, and then the stuff by Krieger. And here we come, a nice butt end on, a nice cross check across his face by Dean Chenault. Maybe they can review this call, or maybe the linesmen are going to talk to him, but we should have seen a penalty. Look at that. Look at that across the face. Krieger went to the bench area quickly. Stanley Wong noticed there was a cut on him and quickly sent him over to talk to the referee. That would be the difference between a double minor or single minor for high sticking and a 5-minute major, which would greatly benefit the Caps.
There you can see that he has been cut. And by all rights, there should be a 5-minute major and a game misconduct penalty assessed. Hatcher backing up the referee in the Capital zone.
Absolutely ridiculous.
The linesman will
call right there.
And I think Hatcher's going to get a penalty.
Going to get a misconduct here.
Terry Murray doesn't realize that Hatcher's been given a penalty until now. He lifts his head.
This could really get out of control at this point. You got the Capitals absolutely irate in a close hockey game. Terry Murray, he almost came onto the ice on that last play. As the puck came up, Terry put the one foot on the ledge of the boards and was trying to elevate himself up to get as close to the referee as he possibly could. Now waving his arm in disgust, just saying, hey.
Well, 41 seconds, the time of the penalty here to Kevin Hatcher.
Now what they're doing, the Capitals at the bench area with timeout on the ice. He's trying to draw. He's got the linesman over there, but he's now trying to draw the referee over to the bench so he can get words in with him. Doesn't get much more frustrating than that for the Capitals coach. The team playing some good hockey lately at home against St. Louis and Pittsburgh. A tough loss to the Rangers, coming in here with all the build-up. Now to get such poor officiating, that hurts.
Well, the good news is the 2-week official strike is over and should have been settled long before this. Joe LaPointe in the New York Times writing a column and actually criticizing the commissioner Gary Bettman for not resolving it earlier.
Minnesota State Screaming Eagle.
And the Caps have tied it up.
And right there we see the Islanders arguing. I think they think that Johansson scored that off of his skate, but I think it first went off his skate and then he got a piece of it with his stick and put it in. We're going to have a replay of this, but I think it is going to result in a Capital goal. Here's the first rush by Kristich. A good save by Hextall. The rebound. There's Dave Poulin again on the puck. Kristich comes around. Johansson jumping into the play. There it is. Off the skate, off the stick, and in. And it's going to be a tied hockey game, and thank God the Caps deserve it.
Way to go, Eagle Eye.
And again, Johansson, the first goal of the hockey game.
What's that? I can't believe it. They've denied the Johansson goal, and all Johansson did was kick it from his skate to his stick and then direct it in.
Absolutely. There's not. I can't believe that's being waved off. Maybe we'll get a better angle here. There it is off the skate, and looks like he jammed it with his stick. Well, the people up above didn't think he got a piece of that with his stick, and again,
and it looks like he gets his stick on it.
Well,
but the overhead replay maybe brings the shadow of doubt. And here it is once again. Watch now. He kicks it. Did he get a stick on it?
Yeah,
you really can't
better
tell.
Replay. It looked like maybe Hextall did.
Side, 17:37 left.
Mix up in the corner. Kristich and Green getting the gloves up a little bit high. The play continues up. Flatley comes up, gets an elbow, partial shoulder. Looked like a pretty clean check. Then Dimitri with a hit of his own as the play came up ice, hitting the gloves up high on an Islander. Here's a wide shot on a bounce to Travis Green, going for the high blocker side, about 2 feet wide.
Featherstone trying to get the rights in before he gets the lefts in. That's just a matter of losing the balance, but Featherstone gets a couple in from down low.
Well, that's 2 fights for Simon. He fought Hines. He fights Featherstone. And I would say that might be the biggest cheer of the night for Simon by the crowd. Pretty sparse now.
Of Hextall, and look at this, Flatley all over Kristich.
And Calle Johansson, he's limping to the Capitals bench, his right leg. I didn't even watch the play if an Islander followed through with a slash, but a good low shot rate there, a little wide with Pat Peak in front of goaltender Ron Hextall. There's Calle limping off. Whether he twisted that ankle on the shot or an Islander caught him, I did not see. I was following the puck as it was going to the net. And we can grab up a replay. His trainer Stanley Wong comes over to talk to him.
Calle's had a strong game tonight, paired with his partner Kevin Hatcher. And let's look at this.
There it is, a one-timer, a nice shot. There he is, just going over on that ankle. Such delicate balance when you're taking that puck into your body. And
off the goal post. He had Hextall beat, and he hit it off the post. The Capitals defenseman acting as forwards there. And Iafrate had Hextall beat.
Iafrate bursting past Turgeon, and there's the shot beating Hextall to the short side. Join the Capitals.
Into the open net.
And the hats are coming down here in Long Island. That's the hat trick for Travis Green. And again, a 2-on-1 rush, the 5th time in the hockey game. The Islanders capitalize on a rush off the right side. This time on a rebound. A bad bounce at the offensive blue line. Actually getting across, makes the save. The puck rolls over him, and there's Green going to the net. Following up on the play, puts the backhander in. And the Islanders, I've got to say, undeserved.
Kristich, after Poulin is denied, Kristich in, and it's a one-goal.
It's a beautiful move on the helpless Hextall. 3-1 Quebec there, and they hang on to win 3-2. Garth Snow stopping 24 shots at his NHL debut to help the Nords. Canadiens at the
Action, Caps, Islanders. Pierre Turgeon was ready for the first matchup between these two teams since last year's playoffs. The linesman is down. Lots of goals early. The Isles break in. Patrick Flatley finds Marty McGuinness, who shoots. On the rebound, Travis Green puts it in, his second of the game, and we are tied at 2. Then Darius Kasparaitis absolutely nails Al Iafrate, and then to the fights. Nick Vakota for the Isles, Craig Berube for the Caps. Lots of posturing, still no fighting until round 3. Berube with the takedown, he's your winner. Let's go back to hockey and some controversy. Watches the shot, deflects off Calle Johansson's skate. Referee Drew Taylor agrees with the Islanders, no goal. Then the Isles poured it off. Off the Rick Tabarici save, Green puts it in, the hat trick for Green. Isles led 5-3, and then Derek King will sew up the win as he scores going down. It was the Caps that went down. The Isles win it 6-4 the final. King scored twice for the Islanders. It was their first win in 6 home games versus Washington since 1991.
Appointments, the Oils and Islanders. And how's your head, Vladimir Malakoff? He actually left with a mild concussion. Steve Thomas beat Brantford, his second of the game, 17th of the year. We're tied at 4. Overtime we go. Kelly Buchberger looks for Doug Waite and finds him, but Hextall finds the puck and kicks it away. It ends 4-4. Oilers still with only 1 win on the road. Ray Ferraro hit the crossbar with 50 seconds left in regulation. Kind of year it's been for the Isles. Malakoff, as I said, left with a concussion. He is being evaluated. Quick.
And the Penguins, Ron Hextall, razor sharp. Kevin Stevens in alone on the breakaway, but Hexy, the pads on it to keep it scoreless. Isles didn't have to worry with Pierre Turgeon's great individual effort. The shot then gets it around Larry Murphy to beat Ken Reggett. Pierre Turgeon with a shorthanded goal and 2 assists in the first meeting between the teams in Pittsburgh since the overtime playoff game back in May. Jaromir Jagr did have a power play goal for the Pens.
It is here with some Islander action.
You got it. A tie is not as bad as a loss, but for the Islanders, this one was pretty close. At the Coliseum tonight, the Islanders had to settle for a 4-4 tie with Edmonton, the worst team in the NHL. The Islanders 0-1-2 in their last 3. That is bad. Here's the second period. Tied at 2. Former Ranger Doug Waite behind the net feeds Steve Rice, who jams the puck past Ron Hextall. Edmonton takes a 3-2 lead. Same period. Oilers up 4-3. Steve Thomas charges in. Wrist shot beats Ranford to tie the score at 4. His second goal of the game. Now, in overtime, Ron Hextall came up with a couple of big saves, including this one to save an Oilers goal. 4-4 the final. The Islanders winless in 4 of their last 7 home games. And
to see it, you don't need to be burdened any further. On a serious note, I'm told that there's a prejudice in professional hockey towards Eastern European and Soviet players by the Canadians, and it borders on hatred. Now, I don't know if that has anything to do with this, but take a look at Edmonton's Kirk Maltby go after Vladimir Malakoff of the Islanders. Oh, he suffered a concussion on that hit. He was down. Look at the replay. Well, you know what's going to happen now. You can bet somebody from the Islanders is going to try to get even the next time, but that is a vicious hit. Redskins.
Well, the Devils and the Islanders scoreless in the first. David Vall, a couple of great moves there around Yaroslav Modry. And watch this, wears out Scott Stevens. Then the backhander to beat Chris Terreri. 1-0 Isles, back to Pittsburgh.
That seems like only...
Devils and Islanders tied at 1. Yaroslav Modry stripped by Ray Ferraro, and it's see you later the other way, and here's the big banger over the glove of Chris Terreri. 2-1 Islanders, back to Pittsburgh.
A follow-up deflected behind the net. Gretzky never got the second chance. Held in by Sador for Gretzky.
1-0 in the second. Watch Mikael Anderson move around Kevin Haller, and then all he's got to beat is Andrei Rasico, the goalie. Highlights and scores all coming up in the intermission. Beats Yaroslav Modry, and then beats the all-star Scott Stevens. And then it's Chris Terreri, the goaltender. 1-0 in favor of the Isles. Great effort by Bollock. Second period, big Darius Kasparidis in the box for the Isles. The Devils catch the Islanders on a line change and go the other way. Stevens to step on Richer. Watch this timing. The setup to Bill Guerin for the perfect deflection. The game tied at 1. Still in the second period, Ray Ferraro, the steal again off Yaroslav Modry. He beats Terreri with the slapper. 2-1 Islanders. Jim, Modry's been burned twice.
Well, he's having a tough night tonight. He gets the puck here. He has an out, but he waits. He doesn't take his first option. And Ferraro wastes no time, makes no mistake, rifling it just under the crossbar.
Well, that's where we stand now after 2 periods of play. The Islanders leading the Devils by a score of 2-1. The New Jersey goal by Guerin. Bollock and Ferraro, as we showed you, scoring for the Islanders. I know, and watching your reaction, Jim Schoenfeld, you have...
Anico, Marty McGinnis bites the dust of that one, but he's back up fighting for the puck. And, of course, from the Islanders, Darius Kasparidis. Who else? Claude Lemieux gives him one shot. Hang on a little bit. Little elbow. Little left cross. And they aren't finished as they work their way up the ice. Finally, the whistle went. No penalties were called. But it's a very close check.
In particular.
I was very scared. I don't know, a lot of emotions ran through me, and I didn't know what to think, what was going to happen to me. You know, just everything possible that could run through your mind ran through my mind. Would I ever play hockey again? Would I ever, you know, just all things like my kids, would I be able to play with them again? Just things like that.
After stumbling around and slurring his words, Brian Mullen, the New York Islander forward who helped his team through an incredible playoff run last season, found himself having strange thoughts for a 31-year-old hockey player, and for a good reason.
On August 11th, I had a mild stroke. I had a blood clot in my left thigh that had traveled up into my chest and through a hole in my heart and up into my brain.
Open heart surgery was necessary to repair the hole in Mullen's heart. That was one heart ailment that startled the NHL recently. The other, Tommy Soderstrom, the Philadelphia Flyers goaltender. He suffers from Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome. That means he has an extra pathway in his heart that can cause the organ to suddenly begin racing 3 to 4 times its normal rate. On October 27th against Ottawa, Tommy felt the symptoms.
I struggled to fix the puck when they were close to the net, and I feel like a little lightheaded. So, but it was really no big deal for me. I want to play the second and third period, but they don't want to take any chances.
And so after testing, doctors performed a 5th heart procedure on Soderstrom to try and correct the problem.
They go into my groins, and here, with 2 catheters in each groin, and 1 up here. And then they go to my heart and burn the extra pathway.
Both Soderstrom and Mullen are hoping their operations were successful, obviously, but why take any chances on further damage or a recurrence?
I don't think there is a risk. If there was a risk of me dying or this happening again, or I would never do it. I would never even try to come back. For me, it's like, there's nothing I can do about it.
Santa confused the frozen Coliseum for the North Pole. No confusion, though, in the way the Isles played the Leafs in the second. They scored 4 times. Here off of Pierre Turgeon's steal, he finds Marty McGinnis. The Isles were ahead to stay. They whooped Toronto 6-2. And Ricky Henderson.
The Toronto Maple Leafs. We take a look at this one as we already have a final. The Islanders won consecutive games for the first time since November 18th and 19th on Tuesday. So now they're going against the Maple Leafs. Early on, Doug Gilmour with a great pass to Dave Andrzejczuk. He beats Hextall 1-0 Toronto. Then Vladimir Malakoff gives the nice cross pass to Marty McGinnis. He guides the puck in, tied up at 1 apiece. Let's go to the second period. Islanders step it up. Pierre Turgeon steals the puck, finds Marty McGinnis, and McGinnis scores to make it 2-1 Islanders. 9th goal, second of the night for McGinnis. Moments later, Derek King picks up the loose puck. He fires the slap shot from the left wing. 3-1 Islanders, 15th goal for King. Still in the second, Islanders add to the onslaught. Brian Del Regarno takes the centering pass and beats Felix Potvin. Then 34 seconds later, Benoit Hogue steps it in to make it 5-1 at the end of 2 periods. The Islanders going to win this one 6-2. Toronto's Andrechuk with the power play goal, his 26. McGinnis had 2 goals and the assist. New York had 2 short-handed goals. How about the Buffalo Sabres starting to...
Well, they were exchanging notes. Now the Islanders built up a 4-0 lead there, only to let the Canadians back within 1. Then in the third, it's Pierre Turgeon on the rebound to put it away. Islanders extend their unbeaten streak to 6. They win 5-3. And in Hartford, an ex-Devil...
Rangers may be cooling off a bit. The Islanders are on fire. They beat the Canadiens for the Isles' 5th straight win, and they did it with the big opening period. Pat Flatley beating Montreal goalie Patrick Waugh to give the Isles a 4-0 lead at the close of the first. Well, that was more than the Isles would need. Montreal did manage to score 3 goals, but it was too little too late to stop the Isles from winning 5-3. Now, unfortunately,
let's get ready to rumble as the Islanders entertain the Sabres at Nassau Coliseum tonight. Second period on the power play. Alexander Mogilny's shot won't go, but Yuri Kemelev is there for the rebound pass. Ron Hextall to tie it at 3. They go to overtime. Benoit Hogue with a beauty as the Islanders beat the Sabres 4-3.
That's saber rattling, huh?
Still in the first, Patrick Flatley to Benoit Hogue for his 21st 2-0 Islanders. Then the Canadians get out on the break. However, Ron Hextall putting up the stone wall and saying, "Give me that!" Denying. However, Hextall was not untouchable. Guy Carbonneau gets the frozen rubber through the 5-hole as the Islanders take a 2-1 lead. In fact, that would cut the Islanders' lead to 2-1. However, they go on and win this one by the score of 5-2. Benoit Hogue's 21st. Del Garno had 2 goals for the Islanders as they pick up the victory against the Canadians. Meanwhile, the New York Rangers playing host.
Things trying to heat up a little bit here is, again, the Capitals. One of the important things against Ron Hextall is to get into that crease area, try to get him off of his game. Sometimes gets carried away a little bit, and right there it was Burridge driving in, knocked Hextall back and knocked the net off.
Ruby doing a little talking, probably asking Hextall how things are going. Former teammates and all.
Well, the pushing and shoving in the neutral zone between Berube and Kasparaitis. There again is the hit. There's Berube working in the corner, just on the left side of the screen. Burridge drive to the net, took Hextall out, and that's where the pushing and shoving ensued after the whistle.
And it is Burridge that gets the penalty.
Nothing Mike Ridley has accomplished in his career for making...
Washington Capitals centerman Mike Ridley. We'll be back in a moment with the rest of our first intermission show at the end of 1 period of play. New York Islanders 2, the Caps nothing.
Pierre Turgeon will come to center with 3:45 to go. Turgeon working his way in, back and he scores! Wow, what a backhander!
Beautiful motion by Pierre Turgeon. There as he goes to the backhand and then he whips it.
This is what the cup looked like when Lord Stanley of Preston, who was the Governor General of Canada late in the 19th century, he was stationed in Ottawa, and his sons played the game, and Lord Stanley decided that he would donate a trophy to symbolize the champion of Canada, and this is it. This is the original. Of course, it eventually didn't have any room for all the names on it, so they kept adding more and more names, and of course, here's just another level of names. Now the Stanley Cup is so big that it's hardly carryable, but this is the original, and we're right inside the vault of the old Bank of Montreal, now the Hockey Hall of Fame. And there is Lord Stanley of Preston, the man after whom the Stanley Cup is named, looking on. Now you know that it wasn't named after me. Well, all my life I wanted to be a play-by-play announcer, just like Foster Hewitt and Jiggs McDonald and Mike Emmerich. And here in the Hockey Hall of Fame, you actually get an opportunity to pick a play and do the play-by-play. So we're going to select one here. I'm taking 1980, Bob Nystrom's overtime cup winner at Nassau Coliseum. I happened to be here, be at the Coliseum at the time. And this first, they give you a practice round. They show you the play, and they actually have the announcer. I actually think I can do a better job than that, but we'll see. You be the judge when I get started. Here we go. Lon Henning has the puck at center ice. He passes to John Tonelli. It's a 2-on-1. Tonelli tonight. He scores! The Islanders have won the Stanley Cup. Well, here we go.
Lon Henning has the puck at center ice. He passes to John Tonelli. It's a 2-on-1. Tonelli tonight. He scores! The Islanders have won the Stanley Cup.
I'll never be a Jiggs McDonald or a Mike Emmerich, but I tried. Well, as you can see, I'll never be another Jiggs McDonald, but I had my moment in the Hockey Hall of Fame, and I'll never forget it as long as I live.
After losing last night, they win tonight. They're just back to where they were before Thursday night's game. Well, that's important to the Islanders because, of course, Philadelphia is a team that they have to climb over.
The Flyers are a hot club right now. They're scoring goals. They're a club that is getting great performance from a #1 line. And they've had a hex here at the Coliseum. They'll be trying to break a 10-game winless streak, 0-9-1, dating back for just about 3 years. And another number of action tonight, young and restless. Young Eric Lindros and young Michael Renberg giving NHL goalies nightmares of late. Renberg leads all the rookies in goals and second in assists. And, of course, the big guy, Eric Lindros, on fire right now in the last 5 games. The broom is out. They're looking for sweep the Flyers to sweep this series. Right now, they are 8 points ahead of the Islanders, tied for the last conference playoff spot. And they would like nothing better than to maybe put a nail in the Islander coffin because last year, you'll recall, the Islanders won 7 out of 9, and that cost the Flyers a playoff spot.
Well, it hurt them a great deal, but when you think of young and restless, you also think of inexperience, and the Islanders have to take advantage of the inexperience, particularly on defense, something we talked about in the Islander pregame show.
As far as the Islanders are concerned, certainly their backs are to the wall at this point of the season. 25 games remaining. They're 5 games under 500. They really have to win these next 3 home games against Philly, Quebec, and St. Louis to pick up very much needed points. Close encounters. The Islanders lost another 1-goal game, another overtime game, and they must improve their record at 1-goal games. It's a dismal 6-12. And the big guns are shooting blanks, at least certainly last night. They have to come to play tonight. Turgeon, King, Hogan, Thomas shut out. They combined for just 6 shots on goal in last night's game.
You've got to have the big guns. And, you know, one of the fearful things with coaches is that when you bring back a Pierre Turgeon into the lineup, do the other players kind of lay back and relax and say, wow, we've got him back. He's in the lineup. We can figure he's going to take a big part of the workload and do the numbers that he's used to doing. But, you know, that only works if everybody still plays up at a level they were playing before.
Let's take a look at our Payne-Weber Eastern Conference standings. Rangers on top, but then the real dogfight, as we see, right through their 2nd through 5th position. Philadelphia with 62 points, right now tied with Florida. Then come the Islanders, Tampa Bay tied, and Quebec, Hartford, and Ottawa bring up the rear. We'll be back with a special presentation to Keith Acton when we return. Eddie Westfall's kind of hockey player.
Yeah. You know, there's something about scoring goals that Keith Acton has done that. He's scored over 30 goals in the NHL. Talking with Eric Lindros said to me that he learned a lot from Keith Acton. They were roommates last year when Acton was in his Philadelphia uniform, roomed with Lindros, and Lindros said, I couldn't believe it. This guy would lay down in the afternoon of a hockey game, have a nap. I couldn't sleep. I was so pumped up. He'd wake up, and then he'd get into his game face. I didn't sleep all afternoon. I was worn out before the game started with nervous energy. I learned how to control my emotions just being around with a man like Keith Acton.
And he's been a very positive effect on the Islanders. Let's right now join the public address announcer for the presentation.
For Keith Acton. Here to congratulate you, your wife Susan, daughters Brooke and Elise, your sons William and Robbie, and your mom and dad, Jerry and Betty Acton. Joining them is Islanders General Manager Don Maloney.
Congratulations, Keith, on a tremendous achievement. We've received many congratulatory telegrams from all your former teammates in Dallas, Minnesota now, Washington, Philly, Montreal. Your style of play is both inspirational and timeless. So on behalf of the New York Islanders and all our fans here tonight, it's an honor to present you this clock from Tiffany's. Thank you.
At this time, please welcome the Vice President and Director of Hockey Operations, Brian Burke, who would like to present Keith with an NHL 1000th Game Milestone Award. Keith, the jersey that you wore in Game 1000 is being sent to the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto for display. Finally, your teammates have commemorated this event as well. When you return to the locker room, the team has a special gift for you. Thank you, Keith, and may we see you for 1,000 more.
We'll be back with the start of tonight's game. The Islanders and Flyers coming up next. Here at the Nassau Coliseum as the Islanders and Flyers get set to clash. And we'll take a look at our Meineke goaltenders for tonight.
Dominic Roussel, who played last night, he faced 25 Islanders shots and had the win. There's the numbers on him. A youthful 24-year-old Dominic Roussel.
And on the other end, Ron Hextall looking to bounce back from a disappointing effort last night. 23 saves in that 5-4 loss. He wishes he had another crack maybe at that last goal scored by Rod Brindamore.
Well, it was a tough goal to have go by in overtime. There's the referee for tonight, Don Koharski. Scott Distro, Pat Puzzo for the lines. And Islanders want to take charge early in this hockey game.
Well, they did that against the Washington Capitals on Monday afternoon. And right now, Keith Acton starting out there with Dave McMaley. Now, Dave Brown is out there with Claude Boivin. And let's see, actually, Dave Tippett has now come out there. And this is going to be a very interesting situation. Dave Brown didn't play the other day. He was suspended. He's lined up against...
Big fella, that line, Renberg, Brindamore, and Lindros, an extra breather. Gives them time to just go over the game plan once again. Everybody knows what's expected of them, except the coach here, because he's got to get his piece of paper out that tells him. I'm just teasing, Terry. Supposedly coming back Saturday, he'll be back for Sunday, and I know that we'll get busy once this game's over. And this is, as I said to you before we started this 8-game stint, Barry Landers, we had a lot of enjoyment working with you. Once before, and this was even better. It's been a nice experience and a comfort range that made it a lot of fun. We've seen some good hockey, and it's been an exchange that I've enjoyed.
Likewise, right now, face off with the extra skater on. You see Dominic Roussel, who has played very well tonight, much better than he played last night when he gave up 4 goals in just 19 shots. Extra skater on. Here's Brindamore, good play by Holt, tipped it to the blue line, runs all over Galley, but Renberg fires it off of Recchi. He'll bang it behind the net, hops over the stick of Dineen. Galley poking away, Renberg gets it back, Recchi chasing to the boards. Recchi shot blocked to the corner, bouncing around, Renberg's got it. Dineen behind the net, hit by Krupp, oh, what a hit. Krupp barreled into him. Kasparaitis into the corner. Spun around is Delgado, 27 seconds to go. Renberg, Recchi's shot blasted wide. Rebound, Holt chopping away at it. Knocked down by Dineen. He'll send wide into the corner. You see the time remaining. Kasparaitis after it. Instead it's Renberg with it to Dineen. He'll have to play it in the corner. Back behind the net now to Renberg. Renberg working his way out, 5 seconds to go. Here's Galley winding up with a shot wide. And this one will end with a shutout for Ron Hextall. The whistle blew actually before the time expired on the clock.
fans here in the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum, but nobody's happier than Ron Hextall and his teammates.
Well, for Ron Hextall, who heard some boos early in the year, Eddie, right now hearing the cheers, he has had 10 consecutive periods of shutout hockey here at the Nassau Coliseum.
Well, that says a lot for the way the Islanders are playing here. They want to make sure that this stays as a place that teams don't come in thinking they're going to come out with easy points. And with this kind of a demonstration, a lot of scouts here at this hockey game, they did just that.
It's the Islanders' 7th straight victory here at home. And they win it tonight 2-0 as Al Arbour, proud of his club's effort, heads to the locker room, and now not much time to get ready for the Quebec Nordique, another club that the Islanders have to be concerned about as they get set for the playoffs. We'll be back with our post-game comments. Islanders shut out the Flyers 2-0.
With the enemy. Now what? Piece of cake. Ron Hextall and the New York Islanders, only on Sports Channel.
Championship-type hockey game tonight as they come up with a 2-0 victory. Let's take a look at the scoring summary. Scott Lachance got his 3rd of the year from Benoit Hogue and Tom Curvers, 9-11 of the opening period. And the only other goal of the game came in the 2nd period. Pierre Turgeon, who had a marvelous game tonight, his 22nd of the year, set up by Derek King at 3:51. That's the way this game ended, with the Islanders shutting out Philadelphia 2-0, no scoring in the 3rd period. And as far as shots on goal, the Tri-State Ford shots on goal, the Islanders with 9, Flyers with 7, Islanders with 39 shots on goal, and Ron Hextall with a shutout as he faced 23 shots. Standing by, Stan Fischler with one of the heroes in tonight's game, Scott Lachance.
Thanks, Barry. Well, a lot of Islanders have something to smile about, particularly this guy. You smiling?
I'm smiling.
You better smile, because this was one of the most stirring games. I thought, based on the shots on goal, that, you know, the Isles could have won this game 6-0 because Roussel was outstanding for them. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think we were tremendous in the transition game. I mean, anytime they did get it in our zone, they were trying to dump it in, and Hexie did a tremendous job getting up to the forwards. And I think that was the key to the game, was the transition.
Before the game, Eddie Westfall, Barry Landers was saying this is just the must game. And with all that pressure on, I thought that the Islanders, yourself in particular, handled yourself with a lot of poise tonight.
Yeah, like I said, Hexie did a great job. It was one of those things where we came together as a team, and it seems to be where our team has to be for something. It has to be something where it's a must-win, and I think we come together, and I think that's what we're going to have to do the next 25 or so games that we have.
Hextall outstanding, obviously, 3 straight shutouts at home. But as a defenseman, you have to interplay with him because he passes the puck all the time. Do you ever work plays with your goaltender?
Oh, definitely. I mean, we know that when Hexie has the puck, instead of holding the guy up, we're going to let the player come into Hexie, and we're going to try to peel off to the corners, and it makes it that much easier. And that's, I think, the key.
Now, the winning goal, obviously, was your goal. It was the first goal of the game, and so significant. When you scored the goal, did it ever dawn to you that this would be the winning goal?
No, not at all. I mean, that's something.
First
goal
here's the goal. Let me hear Lachance play-by-play on this.
Well, Curveball made a great pass to get it into Hoagie, and I saw Conroy's back was turned, and I tried to go to the net, and that's a tough play for that forward to try to cover me, and Hoagie made an unbelievable pass. It wasn't. I mean, I'll admit it, I just put my stick down, and he put it right on my stick, and I directed it into the net.
Scott, very interesting that you credit Hogue with an unbelievable pass, but you had to have the presence of mind to have your stick in the right place at the right time, which is what you did. Now, let's talk about your game. You're playing solid on defense now. Are you happy with your game?
Well, I think no one's really happy with the way they play. You can always get better, and I think that's something I have to do. I mean, you start with the defensive play, and then you try to work your way into the offense, and that's something I'm going to have to continue to do.
Any Islander fan who is looking at this season has his eyes on the standings, looking at that playoff berth. Now it gets a little bit closer, the home stretch. How do you see it unfolding?
I think that's definitely the key to the season right now is how we do in this home stretch, and that's going to pull us through to the end of the season, I think.
What is Connecticut connection with you? Are they anybody here from Connecticut, from the family watching the game, or they watch it at home?
Oh, no, I bought them a satellite dish last year, so they don't seem to make it up as much, but my brother also plays for Boston University, so it's a 2-hour ride to Boston or to New York, so they seem to make it there and here as much as they can.
Your colleague, Darius Kasparaitis, was on. He was on at the end of the first period. Already had scored a number of torpedo hits. Amazing the way he did. He had Lindros's number tonight.
I mean, he's the key, I think, one of the major keys for us. I mean, once you can get Eric Lindros off his game, then that makes your team that much more effective. And it seemed like any time someone would come down his wing, they seem to be a little intimidated, and they dump it in. And that's something that we have to do to win. If we can get Darius doing that every game, and let's say he hasn't, we're going to be a lot more effective.
Scott LaChance gets the winning goal, and he gives me a big smile. I'm very happy about that. And now we'll take it away, Barry and Eddie.
Thank you very much, Dan. Well, we mentioned backs to the wall, one of the storylines early. This team does play better when its back is to the wall.
Maybe that's what it takes. We've often talked about the fact that the Islanders seem to get up and play against the Rangers and the Montreal Canadiens and all the better teams. They play better against them, and maybe Scott LaChance pointing out the fact that maybe the Islanders have to dig themselves enough of a hole before they get serious about this game and then start to work their way out. Can only hope that they get out of the hole both feet and both hands.
Well, certainly was that way last year when they had their backs to the wall down the stretch making the playoffs. As far as tonight's game is concerned, how about our Fleet Bank player who made the difference tonight?
Fleet Bank player who made the difference, that's Darius Kasparaitis. And I know that Ron Hextall got a shutout as he heads in the dressing room. Look at this, Al Arbour, Darius Kasparaitis. Al Arbour recognizes the fact that in the early part of the hockey game, Kasparaitis set the tone with Eric Lindros. Rick Green is over on the left side of that picture. He is the defense coach of the Islanders, and he also giving Darius Kasparaitis some verbal recognition for an outstanding hockey game, the Fleet Bank player who made the difference.
Well, Stan, as you folks may have heard the interview between the first and second period, Kasparaitis said exactly that. He wanted to set the tone, and I think his teammates picked up on it.
I think if I remember correctly, he said something about, well, you hit all kinds of players, but they always remember when you hit the stars. That's the one I like to hit.
Well, he certainly hit the stars. And how about our Bud play of the game?
We've seen it already, but let's take another look at it. The opening goal of the hockey game. Scott LaChance played probably the best game that he's played in an Islander uniform. Well, a lot of people say that's saying a lot, but he did a lot. He knew enough. The presence of mind to head for the net and took it off the stick of Hoagie, as he called him. Hoagie put it on his tape, and he just shoved it into the net. The Bud play of the game. The first goal of the game, the winning goal of the game.
And the Islanders skate off with a 2-0 victory. We'll be back with more from the Nassau Coliseum. It's the Islanders 2 and the Flyers 0. Battle for the final playoff spot. And right now let's take a look at our National Hockey League scoreboard. And Chicago and Buffalo in the third period. Chicago with a 3-1 lead. Ed Belfour and Dominic Hasek, the goaltenders. Jeremy Roenick, red hot, got another goal tonight, his 33rd, 8 goals in his last 4. Richie Sutter added a goal. Buffalo's only goal coming from Ken Sutton. Boston leading Winnipeg 5-3 as they play in the second period. Glenn Wesley with his 8th, Cam Neely 43rd, Glenn Murray his 9th, and Brian Smolinski his 20th and 21st. Winnipeg getting goals from Zamnoff and Thomas Steen. Jets are winless in their last 17 games. Riendo and Mike O'Neill, the rookie in goal for Winnipeg. LA and Edmonton tied 1-1 in the first period. LA getting a goal from Jim Pack, the defenseman acquired from Pittsburgh. Edmonton getting a goal from Brent Grieve, the former Islander farmhand, his first NHL goal. LA is now 6 points behind 8th place San Jose in the battle for the last playoff spot. And Anaheim is just 2 points up on LA. And in the National Basketball Association tonight, well, the Nets, who've been red hot of late, lost to Orlando 114-102. And those are the scores on the National Hockey League scoreboard. And as we mentioned earlier, Ed, a very important victory for the Islanders. They're now back in the hunt, so to speak, and they can't really enjoy this too much because they've got Quebec coming up on Sunday.
Well, it's a big game, of course, Barry, and I think that the Islanders first want to enjoy the fact that they have that they have beaten Philadelphia in this hockey game. And before I go any further, again, my friend, thank you. It's been a wonderful experience, and I know that you work right next door on the radio, but to have you on here with Sports Channel again and to bring some of your melodic tones and some of your wonderful statistics, I've enjoyed it. And I know the guys in the truck, producer, Kevin Meininger, and all have enjoyed it too. Thanks a lot.
I appreciate that. It's been a lot of fun working with you again, and we've had some exciting games, as you mentioned. It should be a great stretch run down the last 20 games or so of the season. Well, it's time to take a look at the skinny. And hopefully we'll have some stats to show you, folks, and here they are. The Islanders are 4-27-2 when scoring 3 goals or less, and of course brought to you by the Tri-State GMC truck dealers. And Ron Hextall, well, his first 7 seasons had only 4 shutouts. This season, 4 shutouts with the Islanders. And the Islanders' first shutout versus the Flyers since 1987, when Kelly Rudy was in goal for the Islanders, as they win it 2-0. Against the Philadelphia Flyers, cooling off the red-hot Flyers. Once again, the final score, the Islanders 2 and the Flyers 0.
But anyway, Bissett not upset that he's on the bench. Of course, he took a tremendous hit from close in. There's the Islanders. Scott chance as he poked the puck ahead. There's Sojin throwing the stick. Here's the shot by Marty McGuinness. There's a rising hard shot. That hit him on the side of the head or up on the shoulder. You could see that he was partially stunned, but he's trying to get to the bench to get the extra skater on. But the Islanders have scored into the empty net. Benoit Ho.
5 consecutive home wins for the Islanders. First time since a stretch during 1992. At the same time of the year, as I recall. They last did that. This one is all over. Ron Hextall gave up 2 goals tonight. Bissett gave up 4. The Islanders, with an empty netter, win this by a score of 5-2. Bissett may have a little difficulty getting to sleep tonight after that one off the coconut.
Of Blade, a neat caricature of Patrick. My producer whispers that you're better looking than the cartoon. Any comment on that?
Well, I think he should take a look in the mirror himself.
Now, let's talk about the hockey game. One of the positives, one of the big positives lately, as the Islanders are moving up, is the penalty killing. Of course, you're an intrinsic part of it. What do you see as turning it around?
Well, the penalty killing is just, everybody talks about the little things in hockey, and that's all it basically is. When you have a chance to get the puck out of your zone, you have to be sure and get it out, and when you're fighting for a loose puck along the boards, you have to be sure and get that puck. And we've just made a more consistent effort in doing those and winning the little battles and getting the puck out. It's no big secret. You just have to outwork the 5 guys you're against.
Well, one of the things I noticed was a little bit more aggressiveness pursuing the puck. Monty McGuinness particularly among many, and Keith Acton. Keith Acton to me has come along, and we know he can kill penalties, but he seems to be a big factor now.
Yeah, he likes to get down ice and make them, keep everybody on edge on the other team, because nobody likes to have somebody chasing them like Keith or Marty, and they can use their speed to that advantage, and that's been a big bonus for us too. And as well as in our end, the D are really chasing them down. Our defensemen are very quick and mobile, and they're going after the other team's players.
One of the bits of required reading for any Islander fan now is the NHL standings. And now the Islanders creeping even closer to a playoff berth. Now it's 4 points. Your view of the race from here to the home stretch?
Well, we'd rather be in a playoff spot right now, but God forbid we do anything the easy way. And but we're really excited about these last 23 games and 24 games, and we're really looking forward to the challenge. And we definitely all feel that we're going to be in the playoffs.
Now, Ron Hextall had that terrific shutout string going. After Quebec got the goal and broke the string, it looked like they may get back in this hockey game. Were you worried?
No, I mean, we got a little excited on the bench for just a brief moment, but then we settled down, so let's just go back to doing the things we did, and that's what happened when we took the game away from it. Momentum swings so often in a game, and you just have to make sure you get it back on your side.
Hextall got the puck with the open net. It looked like he may even score. You guys think about that when he gets the puck in a situation like that?
Oh, we definitely want him to score. I'd love to see it happen, but I think Hexy's more concerned with just getting out of the zone. I mean, he scored before, and I'm sure he'd like to do it again, but his main concern is to get it out, and that's what he did perfectly.
Patrick, lots of talk about the huge Olympic game today. Your reaction to the win for Sweden, the defeat for Canada?
I had several minutes of mourning after that game. I was really upset with the way it ended with the shootout. I mean, I think I would have been upset for either team, to be honest with you, not just because it's Canada. I think it's a terrible way to lose a gold medal, to come that far as a team, and then to have it come down to individual efforts to win the game. And I think it was sad that the team had to lose that way. It would have been nice to keep playing the overtime. I think the shootouts for a game of that magnitude was not fair.
Why do you think they do it? I mean, what's the big deal to play another overtime period or two?
I have no idea. It's,
dumb.
I've never gotten along well with that European hockey system, so don't even get me going on it. I can't figure it out. I don't know. Maybe they don't want to do it. They want to do it the easy way.
If there was something about the game that was a little bit disturbing, it was a little guy like Stevie Thomas going up with a big guy like Simon on Quebec, and he took a bit of a beating, and that bothered me just watching it. Your reaction?
Well, it bothered me too. It bothered everybody. I mean, Stevie's, probably the most fearless individual I ever met. He doesn't think who's out there, and that guy got him mad, and Stevie just, went after. They just dropped the gloves, and if that happened again, Stevie probably win. He's a great scrapper.
Are you superstitious?
A little bit, yeah.
I was just wondering, this was the first game back with Jiggs McDonald from the Olympics, and the Islanders still won the game.
I know. I was thinking that before the game when I saw Jiggs. I didn't say it to him, though. I didn't want to hurt his feelings. He's back. He's all excited. I didn't want to bring him down.
Okay, well, he's very excited upstairs. I'm sure he's going to have something to say. Jiggs?
Nothing. No, not a peep from me. Yeah, bring me down. Sure, Flats. Just talking to him is a downer, isn't it? At any time.
He's never lost for a word, is he?
Never. No, not that I can ever recall. The man has always had a quick wit. A lot quicker than we're getting to whatever we're supposed to be doing here. And number one, of course, is the player who made the difference for Fleet Bank.
Exactly, the Fleet Bank player who made the difference. You saw him give the puck to Benoit Hogue at the end of the game. I was talking about the fact that Al Arbour will have him out there in the last couple of minutes of the hockey game now. He has that much confidence in Scott Lachance and his ability to play defensively. Scott Lachance, who along with his other penalty-killing teammates, gave the power play of the Quebec Nordiques absolutely nothing. 0 for 6. Good job again by the penalty-killing department, and I like the way Scott Lachance has been handling himself lately. So he is the Fleet Bank player who made the difference.
In a 5-2 Islander win over Quebec, there had to be several things that would qualify as the Bud play of the game, but just one made it, and that one is this.
That's the goal by Ray Ferraro. You remember that the Quebec Nordiques got things going. They got it revved up, and just after they had scored, Simon had scored the first goal in 27 minutes here at the Coliseum. Ray Ferraro grabbed a puck in his office, fired it, and it was in the net, and that kind of broke the back of the Quebec Nordique. Who's happier than Ray Ferraro at this moment? And he seems to be getting more involved, and things are going his way as he works hard and gets himself out of a little bit of a spot that he'd been in.
So the Islanders go on to a 5-2 win over the Quebec Nordique. We'll have more from the Nassau Coliseum. Look at the scoreboard and the skinny right after this.
Going on there, yeah, that's not good.
Well, the Islanders have things turned around, Jiggs. I think you'd have to say that they played a pretty solid hockey game. When they did get in a little trouble, you notice that they got back out of the problem in a hurry. Pat Flatley talking to Stan Fischler a moment ago, alluding to that on the bench the players talk about it, they reflect to situations as they arise, and that's good. They're well aware. They're just not sitting back waiting for someone else to do it. Everybody's gotten involved. And I also noticed that Al Arbour's getting a lot of mileage out of more of the team. Mm-hmm. You can't get down to that short bench and play the last period with, with the same maybe 8 or 10 players. You've got to spread that out.
Yeah, there's a nice gel there right now. They each line coming over the boards seem to keep the tempo of the game at the same level as the previous line.
Well, that would probably bring you up to date on that. You noticed that the lines are back to where they were last year when they ran in and made the playoffs and then went on through the playoffs with that setup of the lines. And I like the way
Blues out shooting the Islanders 11-8. Islanders 0 for 1 on the power play. From the point, Malakoff, a shot, save, rebound to Curvers to Malakoff. He steps into it and scores. May have been deflected. The drive from the right point by 23-year-old Vladimir Malakoff. And the Islanders with a power play goal make it 2-0.
Malakoff shoots the puck as well as anyone in the league. It starts with a face-off. The Islanders win it. Turgeon against Shanahan, and then the Islanders get some chances. The first shot from Malakoff. Now he's going to get another one. Now Steve Thomas, number 32, is in front of Curtis Joseph. The long shot looked like Thomas got a stick on it, deflected it past Curtis Joseph. The key, the long shot, but it's low. It's easy for Thomas to get in front with his stick and deflect it. Joseph didn't have a chance. It's 2-1 Islanders, or 2-0, pardon me.
This game reminds me so much of the first game of this trip, Joe. The Blues came out.
Made the save. The puck dropped below him, and then he covered up.
The Islanders without their big defenseman, Uwe Krupp. John Kaminsky not dressed. Dean Chanuth not dressed. Also, of course, Claude Loisel out for the season. David Volek with an injury also. Islanders clear the puck down the ice. There's no score. We're in the first period. Both teams at full strength. It has been a superb period for the Blues. Up to Montgomery. He's checked by Delgarno, and from center ice, young Scott LeChance shoots the puck in. Here's Murray Barron behind the Blues net. Barron on defense with Zombo. Shanahan on a line here with Hull and Montgomery. Blues lose the puck. Travis Green long shot stopped by Joseph, and quickly Montgomery back to get the puck, only to be checked by Delgarno. They wrestle each other down. Green is hit by Zombo, and here's Barron behind the net. Blues having trouble here getting out against the Green McInnes Delgarno line that's really played well recently for the Islanders. Now King on a line change moves in, and a shot blocked in front of Joseph.
Yeah, this line right here is their checking line, and that's one thing the Islanders are doing. They're getting more production out of all their lines. The last game, all 4 lines scored for the Islanders.
The Islanders dump the puck in. Both teams changing already under 8 minutes to go in a scoreless first period. Thomas into the slot. Malakoff, wrist shot. Joseph the save. Can't clear the rebound. King the drive, and it goes over the net. Malakoff out to Thomas. He tees it up. Shot. Great save, Joseph. Thomas again loses the puck. In the slot. Turgeon a drive off the chest. Turgeon scores on a backhander. Relentless pressure there from the Islanders. And Pierre Turgeon, a 58-goal scorer last season, has his 24th of the season, and it is 1-0 New York.
What made it difficult for the Blues defensemen is that the shots, the rebounds off the shots, were deflecting all the way back towards the blue line, coming way out. King has one shot, he'll end up back at the point, and the saves that Joseph was making, 2 on Thomas, the rebounds come way out past everyone, so no one can get control. Thomas ends up with another chance, and then Turgeon's going to take one chance. Again, the rebound comes way out past everyone, and then Turgeon just able to get his own rebound. He took the backhand shot. It looked like it may have deflected off the defenseman, off the Blues defenseman, Rick Zombo, on the play, and then past Joseph. Well, I think it did. I think it just caught the right leg of Zombo and past Joseph.
Now the Islanders fire the puck in. Blues play it up the near boards to Karamnov. After a period here on Long Island, the Blues trail the New York Islanders 2-0. Well, the Islanders with some strong veteran players, including University of Wisconsin product Pat Flatley in his 11th season with the Islanders, and he is Bruce Affleck's guest.
Well, thank you, Ken. We got a chance to talk with Patrick Flatley, celebrating 10 years ago, really, I guess, February 29th. There's no February 29th this year, coming back from the Canadian Olympic team. I saw a quote the other day where you said, I just wanted to play 10 years.
Yeah.
You want to play a little longer now, do you?
Yeah, that was my goal when I first came in to play 10 years. And as you said, I've now kind of reevaluated that and like that on another 5 if I could.
Talk a little bit about coming from the Olympics, what some of the kids are coming from this year from Norway, what they might have to go through to come into the National Hockey League.
Well, I think coming from international competition as opposed to college or junior, I think they have an advantage because I think the level of competition in the Olympics is close to the NHL, and so I think the adjustment wouldn't be as hard for those guys. And it was just a matter of the opportunity being right for a lot of those players. I mean, unfortunately for a lot of the players, I know the Ranger picks are are not slated to be with the Rangers, I think, strictly because the Rangers are doing so well. But if they were doing poorly, I think they'd step right in.
What about these kids handling the mental aspect of it, coming off the high of the Olympics, although in this case the American team, for example, didn't do as well. But let's say the guys from Canada's team coming off a big high. Is there a letdown somewhat?
Yeah, there's going to be a week or two adjustment period where they're going to want to blow off a little steam and just relax for a little, because it's a pretty intense 6 or 7 months of competition and a lot of pressure. You know, pretty much playing for your country, it's every night. There's a lot of pressure on you, and so they're going to need a little time to relax, but then they'll be ready.
How about yourself? Things going this year? Last year, you're coming off the best point production you ever had. Played 80 games. Of course, that helps when the injuries are free. How are things going this year for you?
Yeah, very well. I had a couple of little injuries this year, but not too bad. Just missed a few games, and hopefully I'll stay injury free, and you know, the team can keep playing well, and we'll take this right into the playoffs.
What about this team itself? Slow start. Maybe were you riding on your laurels from last year in the playoffs? Things that seem to be improving lately.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened. I think when you look at the final four teams last season, I think the Leafs are the only team that started fairly well, and I think it was a combination of riding on our laurels, and you know, we had an awkward camp started on the road, and there's a number of things that may have contributed to it, but you know, there's no excuses really.
Well, congratulations on the 10-year, another 5, hopefully at least, right?
All right, thanks. I'd just like to say hello to my brother in Chicago. He's watching.
Go right ahead and say hello, right?
I just did.
Yeah, that's right. All the best to you the rest of the year, and good luck in the playoffs.
All right, thanks.
That's Patrick Flatley. We thank him. Back upstairs to Ken.
All right, Bruce, good job as always. We're in the first intermission in New York. Islanders win the faceoff, shoot the puck the length of the ice. The Islanders 1 for 3 in the power play tonight. Turgeon scoring in the first period. Thomas the power play goal. Herkus in the second period for the Blues. In front for King. Bouncing puck gets away. Zombo tries to clear Kemp. Malakoff keeps it into King. Back to the right point. Malakoff. Left point to Curvers. He'll flip the puck to the net. Tipped wide by Joseph. Islanders still in possession. King leaves it behind the net for Turgeon. Thomas in front. Now with King. Left point to Curvers. Right point. Now Malakoff in front to Turgeon. Thomas, he shoots and scores. Steve Thomas. The Islanders' second power play goal of the night, and it's 3-1 New York. And there is a textbook example of how you can move the puck around in the power play and how it often pays off.
They moved the puck around so well that Curtis Joseph anticipated a shot by Turgeon instead of the pass, so he was already down. Great passing, and Joseph went down early, and then Thomas just had to get it over the top of Joseph, who was already down on the ice. But what puck movement by the Islanders. And then the quick shot by Thomas. It's up high. Joseph's already down on the ice, and what a big goal for the Islanders as they now lead it 3-1.
For Thomas, number 2 tonight, is 30. Has the other. Now the Islanders with a man advantage. They're 2 for 5 in the power play. Turgeon skates in, flips the puck around behind the Blues net. Here's Thomas. On with King and Turgeon. Curvers at the left point. Malakoff at the right point. A battle along the boards in the Blues end. Blues doing a good job. Get the puck, and they'll clear it the length of the ice. Time. A huge factor here. Down to 2:43 to go. And the Blues shorthanded, trailing at 3-2. They've played a good, strong game tonight here in New York, rounding out a 4-game road trip. Pass to Thomas. He has to stop. Feed back to the red line to Malakoff. Maybe the Blues can get another shorthanded goal. To Curvers, back to Malakoff. Islanders in their own zone. 2:25 remaining. Up to King, now to Curvers, back to King, into the Blues zone. Long shot, blocked by Barron. Here's Shanahan starting out 2-on-1 with Karamnov over the line in front to Karamnov. Oh, he can't get a shot. And behind the net, Karamnov slammed out. Oh, baby! Shanahan sent King to the end of Long Island. And here come the Islanders to center ice. King just now getting up. And the Islanders looking back, waiting for their teammate. King struggling to the bench. Now Malakoff works in. 35 seconds to go on the Islanders power play. A shot blocked, and a pass from Brown too far for Hall, and the puck to Hextall. Oh, did Shanahan throw a check. Now the Islanders back in over the line, left wing, turns on a boomer, and a save by Joseph. And the Blues get the puck. Crossman to Duchesne at center ice. He can't get around Turgeon. A minute and a half to go in the third period. Islanders at center ice. Vasquez shoots the puck in. Blues are changing. Duchesne gives it away in front to Hogue. He shoots and scores. Flatley sets up Benoit Hogue. A power play goal with a minute 21 to go in the third. And the Islanders
on the boards. Flatley will end up picking it up. Duchesne, who had some pressure, actually held the puck in his own end. He just tried to clear it up on the boards. Flatley will end up picking it up. Duchesne, who had some pressure, actually kind of overskated the puck as Ferraro was in on him closely. Flatley picked it up to the right side, a quick pass to the left side across the net, and there was Benoit Hogue to finish things off. Curtis Joseph, no chance on the perfect setup by Pat Flatley.
So the Islanders, big story tonight. They have gone 3 for 6 on the power play. The Blues 0 for 5. And the failure of the Blues power play on this road trip has been really the overriding story. Now the Islanders shoot the puck in, 1:08 to go. Blues work to center ice, down by 2, back at full strength. Over the line, Karamnov to Herkis, who sends the puck behind the New York net. Hextall can't clear. Karamnov with a puck knocked down by LaChance. Blues center and a backhander by Barron wide. Barron in the corner. Now Karamnov has a bad ankle. He was hurt on the check. He limps to the bench. Islanders Hogue through center ice over the blue line. Checked and Herkis gets the puck. That power play goal at 18:39. Hogue is 28th from Flatley. Now the Islanders, Hogue with a puck again to the blue line. Long shot. And it's off the chest and caught by Joseph. Blues down to 31 seconds remaining. Here comes Montgomery working in over the line to Shanahan. A shot that deflects to the goal. The save made. Montgomery centers. Here's Tilley with a bouncing puck. Sends it towards the goal. Knocked down. Vasky clears it out. Brought back in offside by Steve Duchesne. We're down to 14 and 4/10 seconds remaining here in period 3, and the Blues trailing the Islanders 4-2. Fans, every Wednesday, the Post-Dispatch brings you inside hockey with a look at the ex-Blues Player of the Week and a recap of memorable quotes from around the NHL. And you'll want to read all about the 2-goal performance by Steve Thomas tonight in tomorrow's Post-Dispatch. Stay on top of your game with the Post. Action resumes. Islanders shoot the puck in. 3 seconds to go. The Islanders have won 3 in a row. The Islanders beat the Blues tonight. Al Arbour's team has won 3 in a row, 8 of its last 11 as they bid for a playoff spot in the NHL's Eastern Conference. So the Blues undefeated here in their last 5 games at the Nassau Coliseum. 4 wins and a tie. Drop 1 tonight as they lose by a score of 4-2. But I thought, Joe, that for the wrap-up game of a trip that's been tough except for an 11-1 win in Ottawa, that this was a very, very strong performance tonight by the Blues.
I go back to the meeting that Bob Berry had with this team this morning, emphasizing the fact that he didn't want any turnovers in the neutral zone. He wanted the players to keep skating, move the feet, and that's what they did. They played a good game tonight. They could have, if they would have had a couple of breaks in the second period, again, we talk about the Post, they could have won this game. It was a well-played game by both teams.
Power play hurt them, and of course they did not again have Craig Janney. The final here at the Nassau Coliseum, the New York Islanders 4, the St. Louis Blues 2. We'll return to New York in a moment. This is St. Louis.
Gardner moves around Ferraro, slowed him down with a stick check, and then a hit by Pilon. Kasparaitis has the puck. Islanders go on the power play in 30 seconds. Ferraro winds up with a shot. Score! From the blue line, Ray Ferraro rips one over Mike Richter, and now it's a 2-1 game as the Islanders mount another comeback.
Through the screen, but it was a long shot, and it's 25 seconds before the power play starts for the Islanders. Kasparaitis moves the puck to Ferraro, and he just puts it on goal. You'll see the screen set up, but Richter's got time, and it did not hit the goal post or anywhere wide. It actually went about 2.5 feet inside the post. So Richter had problems, could not find the shot. You'll see it again. Look at the room on the catching glove side. Mike lost his angle. He got beat up high. The Islanders have not had much for offense, but that gets them in the game, and that's one Richter would like to have back.
Number 14 for Ray Ferraro. It's a 2-1 game. Thomas hit by Bukaboom. Thomas moves it back to Malakoff. 38 seconds to go on the power play. Steve Thomas across to Kerbers. Kerbers plays it in front, missed by King. Hard pass from Kerbers, intended for Derek King. Shot by Thomas, blocked by Lowe. Tikkanen's got it, clears with less than a minute to go in the first period.
A great effort by Kevin Lowe in particular. A good block at the end, but a great effort knowing he's playing with the bad back. And again, the first unit for the Islanders can't score on the power play. They make a change.
See the time remaining in the period. Across the line, Marty McInnes. Marty McInnes pass blocked by Jay Wells. Kasparaitis across to the open man, Scott LaChance. Final seconds of the power play for McInnes. He scores! With 2 seconds left in the power play. Marty McInnes ties it. Great pass from the point. Sets up McInnes.
That was LaChance with the pass and a great shot by McInnes. The quick shot, the accurate shot, and Mike Richter had no chance at all. It's a beautiful play. It really is. Kasparaitis uses the entire ice surface to move the puck across to LaChance, and he does the same thing to move the puck back to McInnes. And Green, number 39, skates through the middle to provide the pick. And that blocks out the defenseman, and you see Richter has that long road trip. Great release by McInnes. That's a super play by the Islanders.
So once again, as they did last night, the Islanders respond after trailing.
And setting up a potential 3-on-2 situation against them.
Curvers with a shot. Rebound, score! Pierre Turgeon! Curvers with a big shot from the point. Turgeon there for the rebound. Islanders have scored 3 straight goals and lead 3-2.
Off the faceoff, Rangers zone. 45 seconds into the second period. Curvers has a great shot. There you see the faceoff controlled by the Devils. There's the shot, big rebound, and the goal's in. And we're going to see Glenn Healy, and this should be very interesting to see what happens here. There's the shot, and Richter can't get there on the rebound. Should be very interesting to see how the fans react as Glenn Healy is getting ready.
Glenn Healy gets the call. As usual, I can say for a fact, John, he would have preferred to start the game.
Oh, yeah.
Coming in cold off the bench, and right now his team needing a lift as the Islanders here in the opening minute of the second period have taken a 3-2 lead. And Turgeon continues on his point scoring streak, now has a 7-game point scoring streak, picking up the goal since he returned from the injury. The Islanders 5-1-1 since he came back.
Last night just to test the guy. We talk about him before games to be careful of him. And you know, and try not to let him get under your skin. If you get a chance, put your stick down his throat.
Hogue played it off the stick. Hogue scores! Healy didn't get back in time. And the Islanders have scored their second power play goal to regain the lead.
Goal by Benoit Hogue. Assist to Kasparaitis, even though he's sitting on the bench. He got it done. Glenn Healy had some trouble. He wants to be aggressive here with the puck, but you see he missed, and now he never recovers. And Benoit Hogue just goes to the net. He knows he's got Glenn Healy in a prone position. It's 4-3 Islanders with their second power play goal of the game. Hogue was sharp, smart, found the puck, was casual, knew he had time, and he made the play.
So the Islanders have scored 2 power play games, both with Messier and
another
the penalty
goalie
box.
change. Now Glenn Healy's gone, Richter's back.
Wow.
It's an adventure.
And then this is a first. Now Healy is saying something to Mike Keenan. I don't know. Healy came off the bench and said something to Mike Keenan, and I think some of Healy's frustration is coming out here.
For the first time. Yeah, you can definitely see it. Absolutely. I don't blame him. He's a competitive.
The last 23 games, and now the Rangers have rallied to tie. Hextall out to move it away from Kovalov. Kovalov with his 11th from Messier and Leach at 2:55. Messier was knocked down by Kasparaitis. Kasparaitis going with Graves in front. Kasparaitis tripped up Messier and nothing called. Maruelli took a look, and that one he had to see. Battle along the boards. Graves challenges Kasparaitis. He wants a piece of him. Kasparaitis not going for it.
The first hit was a good hit on Messier, it appeared to me. And then he trips Messier, and it's not called. Now, this is, again, what gets frustrating for players. And when referees, they got to watch stuff. They got to see it. It's obvious. It's going to happen when this guy's on the ice.
Darius Kasparaitis, you follow him around. There's plenty of action around him.
Messier moves in and he ducks the check. That's a good play by Kasparaitis.
And then Messier drives to the net, and Kasparaitis tripped him up. And this is the one I don't understand why the referee doesn't make a call. Look at that.
Oh.
I mean, oh well, that's hockey.
Viikon näyttävin on Islandersien taitava keskushyökkääjä Pierre Touchon, joka kiertää miehiä kuin keila toppia ja pujottaa kiekon loppujen lopuksi maaliin ohi Chris Terrerin. Vielä kerran Pierre Touchon. Tässä viikon maali. Ja seuraavaksi maalivahti Bob Essensa pelasi ensimmäisen kotipelinsä Detroitin paidassa, kun vierailulle tuli New York Islanders. Ensimmäinen erä. Malahov riistää kiekon, syöttää Derek Kingille, joka jatkaa Pierre Touchonille, ja näin johtaa Islanders 1-0. Toinen erä. Steve Thomas tuo kiekon sisään, jättää Derek Kingille, joka vetää todella kovan laukauksen, ja nyt numerot jo 0-2. Ron Hextall jatkaa upeita pelejään. Tässä jää Dino Ciccarelli maalittomaksi. Ja Islandersien johto säilyy. Kolmas erä. Shepard ampuu ja sitten loppujen lopuksi Keith Primo pääsee iskemään kiekon ohi Hextallin ja kaventaa 1-2. Detroit pelaa ilman maalivahtia. Ja King pääsee vielä rankaisemaan tyhjään maaliin 3-1. Ja Islanders jatkaa vahvaa nousuaan kohti playoff-paikkaa.
San Jose puolestaan.
McGinnis, right back to Curvers, to Marty McGinnis, to Tom Curvers, up the slot, Ripken scores! Turgeon protected it for King, on to Thomas. Steve Thomas, backhand pass, King scores!
The Islanders, who trailed 4-0 at one time in this hockey game, are now within line.
Here Turgeon comes off the right wing boards, giving it to Thomas. To King, he scores! It's good! 4-4!
2 goals in the second period. Overtime.
On to Marty McGinnis, now to Malakoff. Right side to Turgeon, over the Tampa line. Turgeon to Malakoff, shoots, he scores!
Defenseman Vladimir Malakov got the winner. The Islanders took the game 5-4. And if a playoff spot is to be their destiny, the Isles will look back to this game as the night it all started to go right.
Out come the Islanders. Turgeon is across the line. Turgeon around Abilene, cuts in. He scores! Oh, was that pretty?
Great goal scorers have great minds. They're very creative.
In the third period, in place of Patrick Waugh, who's been slumping a bit. First period, Tugnutt would be tested. Derek King to Pierre Turgeon for the goal. Still in the first, Montreal in the attack. Oleg Petrov the shot. Ron Hextall makes the save. Guy Carbonneau the follow. Hextall stops that one as well. 2-0 Isles after one. Second period, Habs come back. Paul DiPietro the goal in front of the net. The Habs would tie it at 2. And then Tom Curvers would fire from the top of the circle to put the Islanders out in front by a score of 3-2. And the Islanders would add more. Pierre Turgeon and Derek King. Steve Thomas gets credit for that one. Big night for Turgeon and King. 5-2 the final. The Islanders over the Canadiens.
With a puck and enjoyed a successful result, even if he didn't enjoy a kisser full of vulcanized rubber. Later in the third period, the Islanders used a more conventional method.
It's out in front. Thomas holds it and scores! Steve Thomas, his 40th goal of the season.
The game finished 3-3. 3 nights later, the Isles were in Landover, where the Capitals held a 3-2 lead with less than a minute left to play. But New York refused to knuckle under.
Hold with the shot of the screen. Now the wraparound score for Unbelievable.
If that game-tying goal with 43 seconds left was unbelievable, what do you call a tally that caps off a come-from-behind win in overtime?
Here's Holt's shot, score!
The Islanders
Islanders were happy to call Benoit Hogue's goal a two-pointer. It brought them 2 points.
Trying to get some help from his veterans. Ray Ferraro with a nice move here, beating his former teammate Glenn Healy as the Islanders took a 1-0 lead. But the Rangers come back. This is Steve Larmer. This goal actually making it a 2-1 contest. The Rangers with the lead. Earlier, Mark Messier had scored for the first time since February the 18th. As a matter of fact, 26 games Mark Messier had gone without a goal, and 2-1 right now the Rangers have a lead, including they killed off a 5-minute New York Islander power play. That was key in that game.
Veterans Memorial Coliseum, where the Islanders battling for a playoff spot are behind at 2-1 at the end of the first period. Just sit down and watch this. This is a magnificent piece. For those of us in sports, you know, we sometimes forget what it really is all about. This 11-year-old boy you're about to hear about has an incredible heart, admires this New York Islander team, and take a look.
Playing hockey in the driveway with my friends is like playing ice hockey. It's like the Islanders playing ice hockey. I mean, it gives me such a high, and it makes me feel so good when I shoot that fucking score.
Clint, here. That's the Islanders. Clinton's disability is called diastrophic dysplasia, which is a pretty rare form of dwarfism. There's over about 80 syndromes of dwarfism, and Clinton's condition, he was born with severe scoliosis, dislocated hips, dislocated knees, clubbed feet, a cleft palate, and he's had to date 24 surgeries to correct those abnormalities.
He knows what his problems are. He knows what his limitations are, but he doesn't let that stop him, and he finds ways to get around that stuff. Mentally, he's probably one of the toughest people that I know.
There's McLennan behind the net. He handles it, passes it off. Here comes Thomas, down to the middle. Got the King. Stop by Hextall.
He loves the New York Islanders, and the New York Islander organization has been very, very good to Clinton as far as accepting him into their family.
He's so uplifting. He's always got an up-tempo beat about himself, and he's always his confidence kind of overflows. And you could be having a bad day yourself, and he'll make a comment to you that'll kind of pick your day up.
We get upset after a loss or climb the sky after a win, but Clinton is always the same. He's always just in a great frame of mind, always positive, always upbeat, and always looking forward to things, and just an inspirational guy.
Hey, Hexy.
Hi, buddy. How are you?
Good.
All right. To come out after a game or any time of the day and see Clinton smiling and laughing and joking around with you, it's a great feeling. It makes me feel better.
I'm handicapped, but I cope with it, and it's not really I don't think of it as a challenge. I just go on with my life and do what I have to do.
Well, Clinton, it doesn't get any better than this. The Rangers-Islanders here, big afternoon game. How nervous are you about this game?
I'm very nervous. You know, if the Islanders win, they're 2 points ahead of Florida. Florida plays Devils tonight, so we better win. I hope we do.
Now you see these guys. You see a hockey team or just a bunch of guys that are your friends?
Well, I see both. You know, Islanders, they know me very well, and, you know, I'm very good friends with them. I think I see both.
You've got a real problem here. Glenn Healy's one of your favorite players, right? Played here. Now he's in goal for the Rangers. How do you adjust to this afternoon?
Well, you know, he's a great guy, and everybody's got to move on, unfortunately, but I wish him the best, but I hope we win.
Can you believe that they use you as an inspiration, as a professional team, and you're the inspiration to the team? It's usually the other way around.
Well, that's nice to think about with them, but, you know, I really enjoy having them around, and they're like another buddy.
They're your friends. Now, you want to be a play-by-play guy. Here's your chance. How's this game end?
Okay, here's the Rangers. They're setting up on their power play. Messier at the blue line. He loses the handle on it. Here's Pierre Turgeon races down center ice. He shoots. He scores. He picks Glenn Healy's pocket.
All right, Gary, back to you.
Back to you, Gary.
I'll tell you what, Clinton, I think you're going to have to graduate from high school, so I got about 6 years to make sure I get money in my retirement fund, and then I got a feeling You may be doing this, fella. They couldn't have a nicer guy. We'll be right back. As the Rangers lead it by a score of 2-1. Goals by Messier and Larmer. Ferraro has scored for the Islanders all in the first. Jay Wells has just picked up a holding call at 1:52 of this second period. So the second power play of the game underway here. And a chance for the New York Islanders to get this game tied up. Barry Thorne, Bill Clement, and Elmore Gandy. Our coverage here on ABC of the National Hockey League. McGinnis has it in the middle. Islanders battling for that playoff spot. Good move by Travis Green. Shot, save, rebound in front. Score! Benoit Hogue!
Boy, what an individual effort by Travis Green. The play moved up middle to Marty McGinnis. And watch, he'll just move it over to the boards and then the problem for the Rangers. If we stop right here, you see that he has beaten his man, Jeff Bugaboom, cleanly. And look at this. He's got access to the goal. He drives for it right away. Now, the Rangers cover up pretty well here, but it was his second effort, Travis Green's second effort that put it out to Benoit Hogue. But it started with Green really beating Jeff Bugaboom on the one-on-one, and that's what opened everything up ultimately for the Hogue goal.
Benoit Hogue now is picked up. Checking here, starting the third. Scott Chance. Chance sends it in. Had to wait for Delgado to clear the zone. Held up behind the net by Healy, and the Rangers start the other way. Flipped up, not out. Hogue tried to get it back to Ferraro. Lost it. Shot missed wide. Brad Delgado. Great chance for Delgado. He gets it again. Delgado in the middle. All the way up to the line, Nube Coop. Trying to get the backhand off, got hauled down by Graves. Graves reached in and hauled Coop down just as he started to shoot. Glenn Healy pokes it away after holding the short side.
That looked like a hook, but Terry Gregson was screened on the play. There were about 5 players plus the net in between Terry Gregson and the hook.
Graves got away with one there. Messier moving in for the Rangers. Islanders up a goal. Shot, save made! Centering pass in front, and Hextall came up big as it was tipped in on net. Marty McGinnis. McGinnis to turn. He centered it right through the crease, and he paid for it. Bugaboom leveled it. McGinnis gets right back up, comes to the front of the net. Malakoff all alone. Malakoff scores!
Malakoff is having. He got a pick on the play from Travis Green and Marty McGinnis, and then came in all alone one-on-one on Glenn Healy. And Malakoff's second goal of the game gives the Islanders a 2-goal lead. There's the pick. I mean, he got a couple of picks in front from Green and McGinnis, and did he take advantage of it? It's one thing to have the picks. It's another thing to spot them and to use them, and Malakoff used them perfectly.
A big day for Vladimir Malakoff, former Soviet Red Army player for 4 years. Turgeon brings it in. Islanders up by 2. Turgeon, Healy the save. 5-3 lead for the New York Islanders. And Malakoff, 2 in the game. Kasparaitis centered. Kovalev was there. Kovalev pushes it back to the middle. Larmer dropped it off. Nato tried to center back to it. Running it up by Steve Thomas. Thomas for the Islanders, and they are pumped.
Save made by Van Beesbrook.
Well, what a way to end the season.
Well, I got to tell you something. That was a terrific move by Sigmund Palffy, and that should tell you what kind of save Van Beesbrook had to make on it. I mean, Van Beesbrook missed him with the stick. Palffy gave him the backhand move first, then moved to his forehand. Watch Van Beesbrook try to poke it with his stick and miss, and then get the right leg out. Terrific extension by John Van Beesbrook. What a save. Palffy had him until the last second.
Abilities. On the second to last night of the hockey season, all the Islanders needed was a tie at Tampa Bay to clinch a playoff spot and eliminate Roger Nielsen's Panthers in the process. What are you smiling about, Raj? Second period scoreless. Derek King up to Steve Thomas on the right side. The fake goes high on Darren Pupa for the goal. 41 on the year. Isles up 1-0. 5.5 later, Pierre Turgeon to Thomas. Same shot pretty much from the same spot. His second of the night. And at that point, Roger not smiling anymore. Ron Hextall in goal. The save on John Tucker. The pad stop. Tucker the follow-up save. Hextall his 5th shutout this year. The Islanders clinch the last playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. That makes Thursday night's season finale with the Panthers meaningless. The Isles win despite being outshot 30-17. Isles will open the playoffs Sunday at the Garden in New York.
It's in Florida. But the Islanders and their new ex-Slovakian Olympian Zygmunt Palffy with the penalty shot. Most exciting play in hockey. He shoots. He's stopped by Van Beesbroek. For Zygmunt, that would be the proverbial Freudian slip. Panthers go on to win 4-1. The game did not mean anything. The Panthers had already been eliminated after that marvelous expansion first-year season in the